Trevor's had a lot of success in the extreme cowboy races that are getting more and more popular, and actually started his cowboy career out in the ranch lands of British Columbia, working some of the big outfits. His company now is Horses That Work, and he operates out of Cochrane. So we had a good session this morning. Trevor, are you ready to roll?
Yes, I am.
Okay, we'll start the timer right now.
All right. How's everybody's day going today? You guys enjoying the competition here today? Oh, a little more frisky than she was this morning. That's all right. Yeah, you know, you kind of make the mistake of watching the other guys sometimes. I'm going to walk away here. There you go. Try to find her. Look at me, kid. There you go. So, there you go. Good. So, maybe I shouldn't say this. This is where you get to be the woman in the relationship. It's all about me right now. It's always a risky thing to say in a crowd in a world where 90% of your clients are women. There we go. I'm gonna walk this way. Come back in. My goal here as I'm walking up on her is to leave her before she decides to leave me. That's not a relationship cue. I heard somebody laugh. It's a horse relationship. I want her to, there she looks, there I'm going. Okay, I'm just gonna use this to draw her in. I don't wanna drive her up and drive her away. Again, like I said this morning, if I've got a roper, I have no issues with that. But I would like to get her attention on me a little quicker each time. I can tip her over a little bit. There you go. She's not going to. There you go. We'll just move her out a little bit here. Again, like I said this morning, my goal is to not get them all wound up. There, she's coming. I'm going to walk away. Good. Right? My goal, I don't want to run her around, get her real worked up. I just want to bring her in, get her calm, quiet, and try to keep her calm and quiet all the way through. There we go. No need to get her all wound up, and then for me to hop on if all goes right and get her quiet again. So we're going to come over here. There she's licking her lips. I'm going to go through what I was doing this morning. So in case you weren't here this morning, I'll kind of give you the Coles Notes version here on it. I'm going to ask for a front foot to step away. Again, if I want to get to her mind, I got to have her feet, right? So here she just took a step into me. There, nice, good girl. So she's a quick learner. She still remembers what we worked on this morning. So for those that weren't here, what I'm doing is I'm thinking about the front outside foot. I'm going to bring up my halter shank. I'm going to increase a little pressure. See how she's already tipping her nose away? That's there, beautiful. So I want her to tip her nose away, and then I want her to step away on her outside front foot. There she's walking away. That's okay. That crowd's kind of scary. Hey, kid, let's go over here. There. Now again, I'm going to set her up right here. Nose tips away, front right foot moves out. Now, she's still kind of stepping back. That's okay. We're going to work on that throughout the weekend here. Eventually, we want that foot to actually step about 3 feet out. And I want to get, again, we won't have time today or tomorrow or this weekend, but if my own colts at home I'm working, I want to get that front foot. If I want it to move 3 feet over and a foot high, then I want to get that. If I only want it 3 inches over and an inch high, then I want to get that. And that's all in pressure and release and timing, okay? But I want to be that in tune with this horse's feet that I can move him anywhere, when and where I want to. I'm going to try the other side here. There, good. Good. Right, she's a little lost. She's about 10 minutes ahead of where she was this morning. Good, good. If she wants to go somewhere, that's fine. She can go somewhere. I'm just going to disengage her. There, she's kind of on me, so I'm going to bump her off of me, right? Again, I don't want her running over me. I don't want her walking on me. So let's send her out here, give her somewhere to go with my leading hand, and let her go there, okay? She's going to get real wound up here. That's fine. We're going to get a little busier. So we set this up this morning where I can send her out, walk her forward. Here I'm taking my leading hand, disengaging her hind end, sending her front end through, and send her off again. Okay? I can mentally wear this horse out in about 5 minutes just by moving her feet when and where I want to, right? Anybody ever been in a round pen for more than 6 hours? Right? Horses are made to go all day long. You're not going to win a physical battle with them. When I was riding ranches up in the Chilcone, we used to go 50, 60K a day at least, right? I couldn't wear my horses out by doing miles. It definitely helps with some of the colts to get some miles on them, but it's not a 100% thing. There, she's backing up. I'm just going to send her forward. Good. I want to see that forward motion. I want her to go somewhere. Right, if she's getting lost, there she's nickering. I'm going to disengage her hind end, bring her front end through, send her around. Leading hand, disengage that hind end, roll the hind end over, keep front end motion in her front feet. There you go. Keep that front feet going forward, roll over. When I stop, she should stop. If she doesn't, sending her out the other way. There we go. There, that was a nice stop on the front end. Good. Now go this way, kid. Now go this way. Now go there. Now you're following. Good job. There. Now she's licking and chewing. Let's just let her stop and settle there for a bit. Uh-oh. Broke her. Good. Again, this morning we talked about this. A little bit of head shy in her. That's actually pretty typical with the bloodlines of this horse. They kind of are a little bit heady like she is here at first. There. Good. There, she settled. Before she... I lost to say this afternoon. Before she decided to go, I wanted to send her out there like that. Roll that hind end over. Stop. Front end through. There, nice step on the outside front foot. Walks off beautifully. Again, there she's stopping. There we go. No, you can go there. It's just your shadow and your poop. Go forward. Good girl. So, as she goes forward, you'll see me, I'm dropping my hand right away. I don't want to keep picking on her like a mom telling their kids to do their homework in the evening. I just want to ask her to go somewhere, put my hand down, right? If I keep up here like this, this is my gear shifter. If I want her to go quicker, I can increase speed, right? There, she's stopping. Now we better go, right? But as soon as she's going, I'm dropping this hand and decreasing that pressure. There, she's licking her lips. So I want to drive her up to where I need her to be and quit the pressure so she learns, and she's responsible for herself to stay there at the speed that we set, right? If I'm leading her out here, I want her to walk on. There she walks, my arm stops. When she stops, I'm going to increase a little more pressure, but I'm trying to make her responsible for keeping herself out there and keep herself. There we go. So here you can see she's kind of stopping on the front end more than she did this morning, right? This is kind of what I call post-holing. That front outside foot, instead of freeing up and going forward, is actually just stopping, and she's just spinning around it, and she's spinning around it, right? We talked about that this morning. Horses can only go 6 directions: forward, back, left, right, up, and down. If she's going to post-hole that front leg, she's not wanting to go forward. And I'm not going to let her come on top of me, so it's a 50-50 chance if she's jumping upwards, right? My goal this weekend is to keep all 4 feet on the ground as much as I can. There, if she's going to whinny, I'm actually going to drive her here and drive her front end over a little bit. There. Now send her forward. Good. Licking and chewing. You can go forward. Good. You can go forward. Good. Right, so this morning's session, spent a little bit more time on the front feet first. Again, horses carry about 70% of their balance in the front, so I want to get that front end disengaged pretty good. Now this afternoon, I'm more focused on leading her out and disengaging the hind end with forward motion. So this translates to riding a little better. There. Good. Good. Now back up a step. Right, I want to teach her both. There we go. Right, both. I'm going to slide my hand down the halter shank so she can feel it before it comes. Back up there. But I also want her to back off of my nose, or the nose pressure of my hand on her nose. Right, I'm going to be riding her in a hackamore. There you go. Good. And that's a little more pressure than the halter. So I want to increase a little pressure here before I put the hackamore on. Make sure she can come through that. Okay. Again, we're going to go back to the flag here a little bit. Good. Much better than this morning. Good. Now again, we talked about it this morning. I'll repeat it. Don't bite my flag, kid. Don't bite my flag. There you go. We talked about desensitizing a horse at a walk, as well as desensing a horse at a standstill. So here, she's standing nice. She's okay with it. Now I want to send her forward. And I want to get okay with it there. There she was kind of walking on me. So I sent her front feet away, send her front half away from me, protect my life, and go back to what we're working on. Right? It's a 1,200-pound horse. As strong as I am, as heavy as I am, this horse can drag me wherever she feels like it if she wants to. There we go. Good. So it's a big deal to me that she respects my space. There. Disengage. Move that front foot over. Send her forward. Good girl. A little bit lost when she trots, so we'll work on that now. Okay? I'm not going to spend too much time here. I'm going to saddle her up.
We've got 33 minutes left.
Perfect.
Trevor.
Good enough. Trot up. Touch her at a trot. Make sure she's okay with this at a trot. So again, flag up, flag down when she stops. Flag up. There she's trotting. Flag down. Flag up. While I'm doing this, find forward. Good girl. Appreciate that. Just going to rub and pet her and depressurize that stress we just caused on her. I don't want her to start backing up like that. There she's licking and chewing, big sigh. One thing that would make that better is if she shook her head and released some of that adrenaline out of her pole. Good. So back in 2017 was the first year I did the 60-day Rock and Heart Challenge. And, you see these guys using these flags all the time, and they look pretty handy about it. And I went, sure, I could do that. I should probably start using a flag at some point in my life. Biggest issue that I kind of have with that is that you've always got to carry a flag once you start working colts with a flag all the time. So I prefer using a halter shank, but these guys with flags make them look pretty handy, and I figured I'd try it. And my colt from Rock and Heart 7 was pretty quiet and pretty good, and he handled a tarp well, so I figured how hard can it be? So I went out and started flagging him, and within about 10 minutes I had him jumping 4 feet high, and he was touching the flag with all 4 feet before he hit the ground. Did I ever tell you that, Mark? I might not have. So in the meantime, I was taking a Martin Black colt starting clinic up here, and we used a flag the first day, and the second day I figured, you know what, heck, I'll try that out. There, nice and flexed. Now I'll turn her out. It turned out 7 was super athletic, and like I said, he could touch all 4 feet on that flag before he came down. And Tom's a guy I worked with down in Colorado, and gave him a call at about 6:30 that morning, and he goes, well, there's a good chance that you drop that flag below the rib line. I said, shoot, you know what? Nobody ever talked about that before. Sure enough, that's exactly what I did. Just to break the story up here, what I'm doing is what I did this morning. So I'm just trying to get her. I'm going to put the halter shank around her hock. I'm going to try to flex her, try to have her there. Beautiful. That's super soft in my hands. I want to get this like a butterfly wing, where if you picked it up, that wing's not coming off, right? I want that flex, that soft, and that was almost there. Good. She holds it. Now I'm just taking a step back, letting her find her way out. She's licking her lips before she even finds me. That's exactly what I'm looking for in that maneuver, okay? So, yeah, you bet. So, to do a quick diversion here on this flag story, when you go buy a flag and you go home with it, up and away, keeps the horse on the ground. If you're going to be working with some of these colts with a little more fight than flight, you drop it down in here. They can reach there with their front paws. These ranchy horses that have been fighting off grizzly and wolves, they got a little more fight than your average quarter horse. So, anyways, worked 7 through for the next hour on that, and he passed.
We're at 30 minutes now, Trevor. 30 minutes.
30? That sounds about good. Let's throw this on. So that was my own personal mistake that I made. And we're only human. We're going to make mistakes. And the more you learn, the less you know. And you don't stop learning till you die, so don't let anybody tell you otherwise. A lot of times in this industry, we hit a certain benchmark. We win a few things here and there. We start feeling pretty good. And we shut off what we can learn. Sometimes you can learn what not to do. Sometimes you can learn what to do. I work with a fellow quite often down in Colorado, and he does a lot with mules. And mules have a reputation of being stubborn, and they're not. They're just smarter than the owner or the person. And you just can't make them do anything, right? Is what people say. And that's not true at all. It's, you got to make it their idea, right? You can't push them into doing something. You can't make them do something. But you sure as heck can make it their idea. And they definitely have an opinion about it. And you just got to set them up to succeed. So a lot of this groundwork I'm doing with her, I'm actually making it her idea to step away from me, right? I'm not getting real big. I'm not pushing on her. When you push on horses, they tend to push back. And I don't like being slammed into horse trailers and box stalls. So you just set them up in a way where it's your idea becomes their idea. Make a suggestion and follow through till you get a little bit of a result. Okay? Now she's a little more lost, so this cable is gonna really mess me up here. Tuck this in maybe. She's a little more lost now than she was this morning. So rather than reach down there, again, I'm gonna take my halter shank and loop that cinch. That didn't work, so we'll go to plan B. There we go. Now, there. Now she was a touch cinchy this morning. So I'm just gonna put this on here again, same as I did this morning. Not a ton of pressure. You can stand. Saddle's not on, please be nice. There we go. Good girl. So right there, yeah, she got a little lost saddling. Took it as an opportunity to teach her to back up a little better. Right? Every moment is a learning moment and a teaching moment if you're aware and looking. Try this again here. There. There, she's stepping on me. Just back her up a hair. I like riding colts with the rear cinch personally. I know it's not everybody's deal, but I like knowing that it's staying down and getting them used to it right off the bat. So here, I know I'm a little far from the crowd now. I'll move her in a second. I'm just tugging on my latigo a little bit, increasing the pressure just a little bit at a time. There, she's kind of getting okay. Cinch it up just a hair. There, she's thinking about lying down and thinking about running off. There, she's licking. Good. Atta girl. Again, I kind of want to back her up, let her get used to that pressure. Every time she takes a step, I'll over-exaggerate. I'm taking my hand on and off, right? I have no pressure on my hand other than just making a fist on the rope, and she's responding beautifully to that for backing up. Okay? Does everybody see that? Don't need to pull a horse around. Just teach them a different way. There, she's a little on me. Good. Licking her lips, moving that front foot away. Let's go a little farther back. Again, if you missed this morning session, sorry that I'm breathing so heavy into this microphone, but it's warm in here. If you missed this morning section, right here, this is your drive line, right? So if I want to move front feet, I need to be standing in front of her. If I'm going to move back feet, I need to be standing behind that. So when I was rolling her hind end over earlier, I was standing behind there, right? Anytime I'm moving these front feet, I want to be up here. It's easier to move 30 pounds ahead than 200 pounds of shoulder. So I could stand back here at the shoulder, but I go pretty far up to the nose just because I find it a little bit easier. There. She's walking. That's fine. She's not super lost about this. There, she's licking her lips. Let her relax. Good girl. So as I'm talking here, I am smacking the saddle, getting her used to that. She's got to get used to that if I'm going to be bouncing around with my carcass up there. Atta girl. Now she's standing still. I'm going to take a little bit more up on my latigo. Much better than this morning. She decided to be a civilized horse today. There. Good girl. How many people were here in the morning session? Good. Are you guys seeing the change in her this afternoon? Good. So she is quite a bit calmer, quieter, a little more lost, looking for other people, looking for other horses. Here, again, we talked this morning, I'm just bumping my stirrup on her rib cage, getting that hind end to roll over. There, it rolls over, nicely done. Gonna tap on this side with my stirrup. Roll that, there you go. Right, if she's more concerned about winning and where her buddies are, I don't care. I'm a bigger deal, right? I'm gonna take that and just get a little bit bigger if I need to, right? So she was a little lost, so I got to bump. There we go, good. No whinnying this time, nice. Atta girl. All right. Don't bite my hand. There, I'm gonna bump on this a little bit more. Good. So, if you've noticed since I've saddled her, we're just going back through the exact same stuff I did before I saddled her. Recheck and I still have control of her feet. Recheck and I still got her mind. Right? I want to have 100% control of her feet on the ground if I can. That's near impossible in a weekend. But if I have 100% control of her feet on the ground, I'm going to lose 30% control at a walk, another 30% at a trot, another 30% at a lope, right? So if I can get 100% here, if I get on, I've already dropped 30% and sitting at 70, which is still a higher grade than I ever got in high school, so I'm okay with that. However, I will get on and I'll start moving her front feet and back feet. There, you guys notice the change in this horse? That's a much better, she's a little bent now that I said something, but she had a real nice flex going. So now her nose is tipping out and she's bent. I might help her. My forearm is just on the bottom of her jawbone. You can see I can just put a little leverage. There's a big change. Not the change I wanted, but I can put a little leverage on her jawbone to help her find the flex over the bend. Right? If I had more time at home, I wouldn't bother cheating the system a little bit. But if it's going to help her this weekend, that's what we got to do. Right? Good. How we doing there, Hugh?
20 minutes left now. Actually, 21 minutes.
20 minutes and I still got to stand on you and crack a bullwhip.
Yeah.
Jason set a pretty high bar to follow here. Hey, Jason, you want to come hop on this one for me too? Appreciate it. There. You can kind of see on this side now, if this side of the crowd's looking at her, you can see her nose is tipping out this way, right? That's a bend, not a flex. What I'm asking for is a flex. I want that nose, there, good. I want that nose to come under the pole. I want that nose, don't hit me. There, there he goes, there. Nice, I'll just leave her there. That was a good learning moment. She still struggles over here a little bit. Good deal, good deal. This is super improper hackamore etiquette. Definitely shouldn't have left that laying in the dirt. Let's go over here. I'm not too worried about the hackamore quite yet. Haven't had to rope her. I don't want to leave my rope out of the round pen, and I don't want to take the rope off my saddle, and that's just me being lazy. It's also good for her to get used to that.
That about a 50-foot rawhide riata on there, Trevor?
This is a cotton.
Is it?
It's a 60 cotton, yeah.
Okay, I thought it was rawhide at first.
Yeah, I wish.
Yeah.
There's some things I can't quite afford yet, Hugh.
You could price a cull cows now. You could get a couple of hides and braid them yourself.
I should. I've actually, I started making cinches and breast collars this winter in my somehow spare time. But minus 30, sitting inside by a fire making a cinch is a lot nicer than saddling up a cold back colt some days. So as she was backing up there, I just took that chance, tightened the cinch there a little bit. Let's see if we can get her to stand. Doesn't want to do that, that's okay. I'm just gonna pull, and I gotta choose my words wisely here. I don't wanna pull on her, but I wanna set her up that she can accept a little bit of weight on that saddle horse. There, good. I wanted just to how that happened there. I want her head tipped away from me a little bit, not coming on to me, right? There she's coming towards, there she's coming towards. Once her head tilts the other way, her left side muscles will tighten up enough that she can actually support my weight there. Good. Okay. I don't want to pull her nose right to me. I want to have it actually tilted away. A lot of times if you pull that nose in, that horse is going to come right on you. Oh, there she wants to walk off. We'll just walk with her. There, good. I didn't really get to put a lot of weight on that saddle, but she learned to stop to it, right? So here she walks again. I'm going to keep the same amount of weight on the saddle horn as we go around. Right? The whole time I'm doing this, I'm trying to keep her calm, quiet, her head's down, licking lips. There, we've done about 2 circles around. I'm going to help her find that by lifting my hand up here. There we go. Good, she stopped. Right? No need to get big pulling on her. Just ask a different question and hope she finds the answer. Right? Again, like we said this morning, the horse is always right, and they're only answering the question that they know how to, so we got to help them find the answer sometimes by asking the question a different way. There, that's better. Good. Now she's licking her lips again. Good enough. Anybody catch earlier this afternoon I went and rode with Kira? Don't bite my knee. That is rude. So Equus Physio asked me to do a little bit of a body work session, and it's up there on the more embarrassing things I did, but it was a lot of fun. They do a lot of acupuncture, and I'm going to butcher this, so you might have to go talk to Kira later to get redefined. But, you know, again, like we were just saying, you always think you can do something, and then somebody comes along and changes it and tells you there's a better way. Turns out my body's even more screwed up than I thought it was. And I should probably see her more often, considering she's only a few kilometers away from where I'm at. And she strapped these rubber bands to my shoulders and my legs, and it was like CrossFit in the saddle. And it was interesting. There, good. So I'm going back and forth. What I do on the left side, I want to do on the right side. Step up, step down. Step up, step down. Stairmaster of the day. Good girl. Atta girl. But at first, Kira thought that it was my jeans restricting my legs from moving. You can stand. So there I used the brake that we just said a minute ago, lifting my hand up, helped her stop. Good deal. Good. Go back to the other side a little bit.
15 minutes now, Trevor. 15 minutes.
Real easy at this point to feel rushed. The other two guys did sit on their horses, and it's really easy to put a colt into a position like that and get into a wreck if she's not ready for it. So I'm really hoping that she decides to be ready for it. There, she just decides to move around. Not a bad deal. There was a time where I used to do that on every colt. And if you're not riding your colts often, it's not a bad thing to do, right? Horses, typically, or colts especially, tend to buck when they're moving their feet and getting off balance. By standing on the side and having to move their feet, they're moving forward and they're off balance, right? If that colt goes to buck there, I can just step down. Now, I've learned a number of things along the way, and I don't do that with every colt anymore. But it's still not a bad option if you're feeling iffy, especially this time of year. Good kid. You know, if you stopped trying to bite things. Good, now she's standing. Nice. Good. Get her ready here. Make sure she's good with a rope around her head. Good. Now I'm just going to double check my stirrups still work. It ain't disengaged there. Keep going. There she disengages. And she even licks her lips. Atta girl. Anybody in the crowd have any questions while we're working through this? Questions, concerns, casualties? Atta girl. Good, look at that. Halfway disengaged the back end that time. Good enough. Good enough. What do you guys think of this little horse so far?
And she is for sale. All three of these fillies will be auctioned off right after the finals on Sunday afternoon.
You can stand. I've seen you do it. Seen you do it. Can you just not? So let's talk about the eye of the horse, since I'm looking at it right now. When you find an old kid's horse that's super quiet and super good, there's a good chance sitting here, you can see that eyeball from back here. What that does is it gives that horse a really good peripheral vision. Your cutting, reining horses tend to be a little bit more eyeball forward, and you can't always see their eyeball sitting in the saddle. You can't see their eyeball, they can't see you, right? People get real caught up with swirls and fur lines and everything else. I could care less about that if I can't see an eyeball. I know that horse can't see things. Oh, there's some kids. Look at them for a second. Thanks. Put the saddle back on your back, kid. There, licking lips. Almost. You could lick them a little more. Slide my hand down, offer a feel. Hold that out there. Ooh, that's a watermelon. There you go. We're just going to do some circles to the left. We're going to be a rainer today.
10 minutes now, Trevor, 10 minutes.
Atta girl. Slide my hand down, offer a feel, front left foot. Bring my hand to my belly button. Disengage that hind end. There it is. Front foot over, hind end over. Let's just see if we can stop. Good. Maybe hold off on that clap for 2 seconds.
Just clap with one hand.
I'll swap your positions if you do want to clap in a minute. She is a little bit clapper shy, so we just want to get this going okay first. I want to make sure there's front left foot. Again, hand to my belly button. Hind left foot, good. She's picked up what we did in the groundwork, right? So all my groundwork is going to relate to how I ride. If I can move a front left foot over on the ground, I should be able to sit here, put my weight in the back left corner of my saddle, hands forward because I want to move a front foot, so I'm in front of this. There's a front foot. Good deal. Don't get that lost. We're in the middle of this right now. Front left foot. Good.
Kind of looks like he's been there before.
It does. The horse? There, front back. Good. Let's take my left heel. I'm going to slide it back now. On the ground, we practice bumping her with my stirrup. I want to see my heel bump that back. There, back leg's moving, kind of in a backward motion. Let's see if we can get that to roll over. That's halfway good. Let's go front foot. Hey, judges, this is the wrong place to be right now, kid. We don't want to be this close if things go sideways.
It took us 20 minutes to get the judges' table cleaned off after the last one.
Let's try to the right. Again, I'm sliding my hand forward in front of the saddle horn, and I'm just going to lift a little. I want that front right foot to be the first one. Good. First one to move. Now let's go back. There we go. Front right. Good. Hind right. Oh, you got a little lost. That's okay. See if we can't go this way. Front. Walk on. My clicker's broken. Front feet encourages forward motion. Hind feet encourages backward motion. With extreme cowboy, if your horse is having a hard time going over obstacles, trail riding, if your horse is having a hard time going into a creek, there's a good chance that you're riding here and the horse isn't broke enough to ride here. Okay? Back here, look what happens. I didn't have any more pressure than making a fist and she wants to back up just because my hand is behind the saddle horn. Slide that hand forward. Keep it in front of the saddle horn. I can get front feet moving. Where are we going, kid? It's your show. You tell me. There, nice. A little bit of forward. Yeah, sneeze out there. When the horses is sneezing and shaking their head, they're relaxing, right? Anytime a horse shakes their head, they're releasing that adrenaline back from their poll, back into their neck, and their body can process it and help them calm down. Here, forward here with my hand, overly exaggerated, my heel bumping her over. I'd like that heel to bump over your hip right there. Thanks. Front foot forward. Now we can walk forward. Look at that. She felt the feel that time. I didn't even have to slide my hand. I barely touched it and she went to the left. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Slide my hand down, follow that feel, walks forward freely. Oops, sorry, kid. Should practice that some more. There you go. Pretty little blue roan. There, she's following that feel nice. Wow. I should have been practicing this week. There we go. I'm gonna get her rope broke by the end of it if I keep on hitting her in the ears anyway. There. Good little girl. Sliding my hand down, front right foot if I'm lucky. There it is. Good kid. Right? So I'm just working through, well, I'm really working through trying to get a rope over her head today. So not every day is perfect, hey? There we go. Look at, there's some forward motion. I'm trying to get that 100% control of her feet back, right? So by sitting here, there, front left foot. Beautiful. Can we slide that? There, front right foot. Nice, kid. And a lick of the lips. Can we go this way a little bit? I know you got some nose issues, but here.
5 minutes now, Trevor. 5 minutes to go.
I just got up here, Hugh.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing how fast the time goes.
I'm not too worried about making noise. I want the horse to follow a feel more than I want a cluck. For my show horses, I will make a kissing noise for a lope and a cluck for a trot. But I don't care about that right now a whole lot. She's had people clucking around her all day long. Let's go front left. Roll that hind end back over. Good. So I'm just going through the motions, making sure I got some breaks, making sure that she's following the feel. There she's walking. Look at you be a civilian. Licking her lips, looks like a reiner with her head low. Don't get any lower because that's not good. You're allowed to drop your head, just not like that. Good kid. There, I can slide my hand down, front right foot, front right foot, front right foot, spin, yay. Front, left, in. So as we're going around, I'm just trying to put, basically we're playing the hokey pokey. Trying to put her front left foot in a circle, take it out, put her right foot in, turn all about. There it is.
That's
Nice.
kind of what it's all about.
It is, hey? You know, Hugh, I'm really glad you came back this year. I've missed your commentary around out here. There, front, look at that front left go. That's exactly what I'm looking for, right? Now we've been swapping ropes on either side. She's starting to fall. Oh, that might be scary. Not you, personally. Don't take that personally. I was riding a colt once, and the client's little son was in a black hoodie and black pants, and he was running around on all fours like a bear cub. And that particular Appaloosa had been attacked by a cougar in her younger days, and she handled it real well, but she got pretty alert pretty quickly. And lucky enough, he stopped moving quick enough that there wasn't a wreck. There, look at. So she's licking her lips, right? My goal this weekend, I don't ever want to see a drop of white foam on those lips, okay? Used to be a common theory that if there was white foam on the lips, that it was actually a good thing, which is insane, okay? When a horse is calm, they're licking their lips. There shouldn't be white foam on their lips if they're licking their lips, right? So what that means is that they're creating moisture in their mouth, and they're not capable of swallowing or licking their lips to calm themselves down, right? You'll see it a lot more in show horses and that kind of stuff, or if I had a snaffle bit, you might see a little bit more moisture there. But if your horse is calm and relaxed, there's not going to be any white foam on the mouth because they can take the time to lick their lips and put it away.
2 minutes now, 2 minutes.
Let's go this way. Let's go back over here. As we're riding around, I know Jason made this good point in the morning, or just before here. You want to be moving around. So as we're riding around, I am moving the saddle. I'm moving back and forth.
You might feel a little hump in her back now.
I do feel a little hump. My heart just jumped a little with that hump for the first half a second. She lost her forward motion and got high. I'm not worried about her stopping right now down the road. If horses had to stop to poop, there, we'll just take that now. Natural selection would kick in, and wolves would just sit there and wait for a horse to poop. You know, we only have a minute. There you go. Stop, kid. Now, I'm going to get her ready to stop.
Got a minute left. 1 minute.
I better get off of you. Stand. Good kid. There you go. Thank you. Better unsaddle quick. I think I got to be unsaddled by the end of this timeline.
One of the reasons that rule was put into some of these challenges is Craig Cameron was put into some of these challenges is Craig Cameron had a real waspy Douglas Lake colt, and took him 3 sessions to get him saddled, and he finally got him saddled, and that horse just put up an awful show.
Yeah.
His time was up, and Craig says, boy, I feel sorry for whoever's got to unsaddle this one. So they changed it.
I'm going to kill my last 10 seconds just walking around. She's done real well. She took that all really good. She was walking around with her lips. We were licking her lips. She's pretty relaxed. She didn't hump up.
Beep, beep, beep. That's your time. How about a great job from Trevor Mertes and Emmy-Lou? Like I said, we'll be back here tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, and hope you can enjoy the rest of the trade show here, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.